Hi, my name is Lorena, and I'm going to be showing you how to make your first graph for project 1. So the first thing I like to do is you'll have your data in from your lab manual and you'll import it into Excel. And I'll show you how to make it on the desktop version of Excel and the online version of Excel as well. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to input your raw data. So that's basically your time points. So this is time at like 0, 8, and 16 minutes. And your times could be slightly different, just depending on which experiment you did. And then over here, you're going to have the name of each cuvette or cell fraction. And this sample data is for the chloroplast experiment, but it would be pretty much the same thing for the mitochondria. You might just have less columns. So I like to organize my data like this. And then, so the first thing before, and then this tutorial is going to result in a graph that looks kind of like this one on the right. So your first line graph. So what the first thing I like to do to organize the data is just to take out, if you had a time like column heading here, just to remove that, because that helps Excel to notice which one is going to be on the X or the Y axis a little bit easier. And then you're just going to select your data here and then click insert and go to insert a 2D line graph. So right here, you can also use this recommended charts button, but then it gives you a bunch of different types. So I think it's easiest to just go to this line graph button and then click the first option. So what it's going to end up giving you is a graph that looks like this. So this isn't correct yet because it has the times as different lines and instead of the different cell fractions as the different lines on the line graph. So to fix that, you're just going to click this one button right up here on the switch row column button. So you'll click that and that will give you a correct graph. So you have your time on the x-axis, you have absorbance on the y-axis, and then you're going to have each of the different cuvettes or each of the different cell fractions as a different colored line. So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add in your X and Y axes titles using this add chart element. So you'll click add chart element here on the left, and then you'll click axis titles and primary horizontal. Then you can title it with time, seconds, and then you click add chart element again, axis titles again, and primary vertical. And this will be titled like absorbance at 600 nanometers. And then you can also edit the main title just using this button here. And on this other graph, I gave like a sample title of what you could call your graph. So that's pretty much it. It's super, super simple. And then I'll show you on the online version, it's pretty much the same commands, but the buttons are just in slightly different places. So this is the online version of Excel. As you can see, it looks pretty much the same. You'd organize your data the same, and same as before, I would remove the column title here if you have a column title that was like time or something like that. So then you're just going to select all your data again. You'll click the insert button over here. And then your line graph button is going to be right over here. So it looks a little different than the desktop app. So you can click this right here. Again, it's going to give you a graph that's not completely correct. So you're going to click the switch row column button, which is on the left on the online version. So you click that, and then that will give you the correct graph. And then to add in your axes titles, you'll just use this button over here. You can do primary horizontal, time, and then you can add your vertical title. And then that would be the final result of your line graph. So this so this is pretty simple, but if you end up having questions or if you have questions on doing your graphs on Google Docs or on some other kind of graphing software, be sure to come into tutoring drop-in hours. They're from 6 to 9 p.m. At the Sciences Library Monday through Thursday every week. So thanks.